It is Tuesday night, and we are live for round number one of the playoffs for the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series. I am Jeff By Jr., joined by Bill Tomer in the broadcast booth. And Bill, this is going to be a fantastic racing as qualifying already getting underway. We're a little bit behind schedule. We're trying to play a little catch up here. Qualifying underway, and this is an important one. No inverts tonight. Whoever qualifies first is going to start on the front row.
Yeah, this is where just like last night. This is where it gets exciting, Jeff. We have these the playoffs races where we don't invert the cars that from qualifying. So these guys got to go straight up. Qualifying is Craig Tully is the first person to log a quick lap. Sean Hayes will go P1. Jeff, we are playing a little bit of catch up tonight. We had an issue with one of our playoff drivers.
Yeah, we had to start a new server. We had a little issue there, and had to make sure one of our playoff guys were in the race. And we had to restart a whole new server that added a little additional practice. Man, we went a little late on the broadcast, so here we are in qualifying. Is Ricky Howell to the top of the board, 16.215 as these guys go for the Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes Quick Time Award. That's a $5 bonus. No bonus points this race, as Kyle Martinson goes second fastest, 16.221.
Chase Pierce going to go P6 in the 17 car. Your winner last week at USA. He's going to come around for lap number 2, see if he can better that.
If you're wondering about the playoff drivers, the highest qualifying one right now, Chris Roma sitting third on the board, 16.225. Sean Hayes sitting fourth. He had a great run last week at USA. Aaron Plemons, we haven't seen in a while. Back returns to the series, 16.229, goes fourth fastest for Plemons. Del Mears sitting sixth on the board. That's a great qualifying lap for Mears right there, the 16.258. Last week's winner, Chase Pierce, 16.262, sitting seventh on the board.
Just watch JJ Chansey overcook it, going into turn number 1, spun the car out. Chase Johnson sitting on pit lane. He's 21st quick. JJ will actually get a 12th place run with his qualifying effort. Elliot Carlson on the racetrack. Actually make it. He's not on the racetrack. Let's see if we can find Elliot. There we go. There's the 09 car.
JJ did not get a lap in, or actually he did get a lap in finally, not the lap he was looking for. And that's one of those playoff drivers. Caleb Hall has not turned a lap as well. We're kind of waiting for him, and he's not going to get a lap in. So Caleb Hall, one of our playoff drivers, going to the B main tonight.
Well, Caleb Hall has kind of been a saga, Jeff, as he was on his way home. He works on his own, I believe it's a go-kart. He races go-karts. He was working in the race shop and had to really haul to get home. I believe he's here. He'll be able to race tonight, but he's going to have to start in the B main.
So, Bill, we are set up for our B main. And the way that stands right now would be the same as last night, where one driver would be going home. And looking at the order right now on the poll for this B main, the number 83, a Chase Johnson on the outside of him. The younger brother to Parker Traves, it's the 24, a Denver Traves.
Starting in the third position in the number 72, that is Tyler Perkins, and to his outside, slated to go off P4. That's the 09 of the Joker, Elliot Carlson.
Starting fifth in the B main, the 04, Jarrett Campbell on the outside of him. The 26 is Peyton Aldridge.
Starting seventh in that 17 machine, Reagan Parent, and to his outside, the gentleman we just talked about a moment ago in the 05, that's Caleb Hall.
Starting ninth tonight in the 84 machine, it's Landon S. Huffman. And I believe that's all the drivers we're going to see in our B main.
Jeff, who was the, I did not see who the Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes Quick Time Award winner was.
That went to Ricky Howell, 16.215 quick qualifier.
So he becomes the winner of $5, and actually no bonus points here in the playoffs. Unfortunately, Ricky Howell picked the wrong time to get the quick time. But $5 in his pocket is always fantastic. That brought to you by Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes. Check them out on Facebook. Finally got the logo, Jeff. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Finally got the Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes logo up there. Of course, thank you to Islander Inn for sponsoring tonight's event. The Islander Inn 125. And again, if you're looking for a place to hang out on in the Ohio area near some racetracks, near the Lake Erie area, check out Islander Inn. It got some really cool stuff, including a poolside bar, and that just sounds amazing right about now.
It's a Caribbean bar in Ohio, Jeff. Actually, a
It,
Caribbean resort. I should call it a resort. It
yeah,
really is a
resort.
resort.
Yeah,
It's not just a bar. You get the hotel. You've got everything there.
yeah, definitely. As soon as I get to Ohio to go to some races, I think I'm going to spend a night at least at the Islander Inn once I get out there.
Absolutely, I've already bookmarked it and everything on the Google and or Edge, depending on what browser you like. But mine is Google. I've bookmarked it. I'll make sure I'm going to make it there if I ever get an opportunity. And I am that kind of crazy. I do go to tons of racetracks every single year and try to go to new ones all the time. So, I might end up doing that at some point.
Absolutely, and there's some really cool racetracks in that area, Central Ohio, kind of a hotbed for sprint car racing right now.
That's the one closest to Toledo.
Toledo, I know there's a drag strip that has NHRA pretty close by, and then of course, I mean the All-Star Sprint Cars basically spend most of their season in Ohio, so really cool area there for racing. As we get set to go green in this B main, Chase Johnson on the loud pedal, he takes the lead early on. Denver Traves going to slot into that second spot as Elliott Carlson goes around the 72 with Tyler Perkins for the third spot. We got a spinner off turn 2. That's Tyler Perkins in the 72 went around. He's going to rejoin No Caution.
Yeah, No Caution was kind of behind all the rest of the cars. And Jeff, this one is for transfer positions. Actually, there's only 9 cars, I guess it really is, and this will make it a B dash.
Yeah, this will end up being a B dash. We are going to transfer everybody here to the A main, start one additional car in the feature event. And that kind of takes the pressure off for some of these drivers like Caleb Hall, who he was a little worried he wasn't going to make it, then didn't get a qualifying lap, ended up in the B main, and now he just gets some time to put some laps on the tires and not worry about where he's going to be in the feature event tonight. It was Reagan Parent sideways off turn 4, and then Caleb Hall got sideways, so Landon Huffman going to pick up a spot. So Chase Johnson out front. Elliott Carlson having a battle right now with the 24 machine of Denver Traves. Traves on the outside line, holding tough out there, but Elliott's got that preferred inside line. He's going to inch forward around this 24 car, finally clear him into turn 3. So move Elliott Carlson up to the second spot.
Denver Traves, somebody we haven't seen before in that 24 machine. Actually doesn't do a whole lot of iRacing officially either. Like you said, the younger brother of Parker Traves. Parker, who had a heartbreak last night with 3 race wins on the season, does not make the second round of the playoffs after last night's race.
Yeah, that was a really frustrating night for Parker Traves. And, of course, Dylan Bates, who also missed there. And Dylan actually tied with Cole Cabrey. Cabrey had the 1 bonus point, and that gave him the tiebreaker. And Cole Cabrey going to move on to the next round. Dylan Bates, his season is, it's kind of over.
Well, he gets to continue to race, Jeff. But
yeah.
He'll be racing for 6th.
6th place.
So 7.
Yeah.
7. Make it 7. The highest he can finish is 7. 6 drivers still alive the final 2 races this season.
Tyler Perkins able to get around Peyton Aldridge, so move him up into the 8th position. Aldridge back to 9th now.
Battle going on a little bit farther back in the 4th spot. Actually, a little further up than that, but middle of the field, 4th spot. Caleb Hall trying to make a move on Landon Huffman. Huffman moving up the racetrack just a little bit in that 84. Caleb Hall will drive through and put the 05 in the 4th spot.
Good green flag run here in this B dash as Chase Johnson has opened up that lead to over 1 second over Elliott Carlson. Denver Traves just about half a second back from Elliott Carlson. And you see Caleb Hall, he's gotten back around Landon Huffman. So the 05 back on the move. And Caleb, again, didn't get any practice. He came into this absolutely cold. So this is just some track time right now for the 05.
We don't talk about Five Flags very much, Jeff, and I forgot how dark this place is.
It is a very dark racetrack and very bumpy, too, on the bottom side of the racetrack. Very bumpy, very fast racetrack, too. This is one of those places, if you get in the back of somebody here, they're probably going to spin because the cornering speeds are just so high.
I watched the broadcast from last night today, And actually, that was one of the things that I noticed, just how dark this racetrack is. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think this is why the Snowball Derby is a day race, right?
Because they forgot to put lights that actually work at this race right now. No, it's brighter in real life. It is dark though. It's weird. I think it's just the contrast is a little off here.
Yeah.
We get really bright spots and really dark spots. It isn't quite as bad in real life. This place is wild. It's just dark to light, dark to light.
Denver Traves got sideways off turn 4. That's going to allow the 05 to take a run into turn 1 on his inside. Now he's got the position. Caleb Hall going to take another spot away here as he moves up into the 3rd spot. Denver Traves now under attack from Landon Huffman in the 84.
These guys doing everything they can to make positions here in the B main. If you make the position and you pass guys here, you don't have to do it in the A main. So this is where you're getting an opportunity to move forward in rows if you can pass cars. Doing work right now is a good idea, and you see Caleb Hall doing that in the 05, and he's towing Landon Huffman with him.
Landon Huffman up into the 4 spot. Denver Traves back to 5th. Reagan Parent kind of fell off there a little bit. Not sure what happened to the 17 machine, but he is kind of fallen way behind that pack in the 6th position. Chase Johnson's already starting to see some lap traffic. Peyton Aldridge going to be the first car he encounters. 126 machine going to be the first guy to go a lap down as we are working about lap 20 here when they cross the line. Remember, if you're hanging out with us on Facebook, like and share the stream. Leave us a comment. Let us know who you're cheering for tonight in this Challenger Series, the first round of the playoffs. And Bill, we said in the opening there was 8 drivers going for this playoff. We actually only ended up with 7. AJ Rogers did not make it tonight. Unfortunately, he had some work stuff going on and was not able to take part in it. That's a heartbreaker. He was sitting second in the standings with the 1 win and not going to be able to take part in this playoff run.
Oh my goodness. That's tragic right there.
Yeah.
You ruined my night, Jeff. I'm done. No.
We can't be done yet. We still got 125 laps to go after this one.
It's terrible for AJ though. Unfortunately, yeah, real life takes
right
precedence over sim racing. So
exactly, that's kind of the reason why in the regular season we do have the drop week because obviously sim racing you can't count on people being able to make it
sim
every single week.
Is life, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
We try to say that.
Unfortunately, even with all the fantastic sponsors we have, it's not enough to pay the bills.
That's true.
We understand that.
Absolutely true.
So Chase Johnson still out front, opening up that lead just slightly. Elliott Carlson hanging tough there in that 2nd spot. Caleb Hall 3rd, trying to reel them in, but time is ticking away here. 2 laps to go. Actually, white flag now for Chase Johnson. And now he's off the pace on the back straightaway. So Elliott Carlson going to go by. I think Chase has decided he's going to drop all the way to the back.
What happened there? That's interesting.
Well, Elliott Carlson going to cross the line, and he's going to give it to Caleb Hall. He lifted, so Caleb Hall going to be your B main winner.
Does anybody know what happened there?
I think there was a little respect to the fact that Caleb Hall is a playoff contender, and they just didn't want to be in front of him for the start of this feature event tonight. So Caleb Hall going to celebrate with donuts there.
I mean, that is an incredible amount of respect shown. I'm impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chase, he obviously showed he was going to clearly win that race. So, I mean, he definitely showed that he was the fastest guy in that one. So the way it's going to line up there, Caleb Hall will start 21st, Elliott Carlson 22nd, Landon Huffman, Denver Traves, Jarrett Campbell, Tyler Perkins, Reagan Parent, Chase Johnson, Peyton Aldridge. Everybody, all 29 cars, will take part in tonight's feature event as we get onto the racetrack for their final warm-up session, about 2 minutes just to fill the racetrack out, get all set up. And shout out to Devin Rogers, who was in the Facebook chat. He was tagging somebody to come watch, and Devin will be taking part in tonight's race. Guy who's ran a little bit on the Monday night series, going to race tonight and Tuesday night. James Hayden out. Caleb Hall said it helps to have good friends and great competitors in this league. And Caleb, you definitely got to thank some people tonight for that one. That was Man, I can't imagine anybody giving up even a B main win to help somebody out, right?
Yeah, well, I don't even, I am speechless, Jeff. I have nothing to say about that. That is, I mean, that's just a really nice, I guess, show of sportsmanship from his other competitors, knowing what is at stake for him tonight in tonight's race. And but I mean, it was his fault for not getting home in time. Of course, I mean, what a great group of guys. I mean, if you're to want to go race with the Super Late Model League, that's the kind of league you want to race with. The guys that are willing to give up a couple positions or a position to allow you to have a better shot at moving on to the next round.
And James in the chat, he is cheering for Caleb Hall, wishing him the best of luck tonight. And with AJ not being here, it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit. That's one spot not moving on already. So now you just have to beat one person, and if you're Caleb, you're starting deep, but you only have to beat one other playoff competitor.
Yeah, who's going to be the odd guy out? That's the question.
Well, Bill, it is time to go for tonight's Islander in 125 here at Five Flags Speedway. And we're just waiting for everybody to begin gridding, and our front row is starting to take shape. Your quick qualifier tonight in the Wisconsin Weens and Walleyes qualifying with a 16.215. Now going to start from the front row. The number 20, it's Ricky Howe. On the outside of him in the number 07 machine, it is Kyle Martinson.
Starting in third in the number 83, ran last night, had a decent run. It's Chris Roma to his outside, making his return to the series after a few weeks off in the 67 car. It's Aaron Plemons.
Starting fifth tonight in the number 1 machine. He won the season opener, or not the season opener, but the pre-race season race. The number 1 is Sean Hayes. On the outside of him in the number 112, it's Del Mears.
Starting in the 7th position in the number 17, last week's winner at USA, it's Chase Pierce, and to his outside in the 45 machine. That car is bright. It's Jason Warren.
Starting ninth tonight, it's another bright one in the familiar green car, the 31 of Brad Carpenter. On the outside of him, another playoff contender, the 55 of Josh Parrish.
Starting in the 11th position in the 42 car, it's Super Zach Onen, and to his outside in the number 2, it's JJ Chansey.
Starting 13th tonight, the 83 making his debut this season, it's Adam Jocelyn. On the outside of him in the Islander in machine, the number 81, the ravishing one, Rick Rube.
Starting in the 15th spot in the number 1 machine, it's Caleb W. Hill, and to his outside in the number 5, it's Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes man himself, it's John Piet.
Starting 17th tonight, a playoff challenger, the 50 of Craig Tolley, and on the outside of him, the guy who enters the playoffs with the most bonus points. He's got 2 wins on the season, the number 2, a Josh Kosick.
David Hill will roll off 19th in the 03 machine, and to his outside, you talked about him just a moment ago, in the number 25, it's Devin Rogers.
Your B main winner, Caleb Hall, will roll off 21st tonight. On the outside of him, the 09 will be Elliot Carlson.
Starting 23rd in the 84 machine, we watched him finish second, actually make it third in the B main just a moment ago. In the 84 machine, it's Landon Huffman, and to his outside in the number 24, making his debut with the series, the younger brother of Parker Traves, it's Denver Traves.
Starting 25th tonight in the 04, it'll be Jarrett Campbell. On the outside of him in the 72, it's Tyler Perkins.
Starting 27th in the 17 machine, it is Reagan Parent. To his outside in the number 24, actually make it to 83, that's Chase Johnson.
And your final starter, the 29th position, the number 26, it's Peyton Aldridge.
29 cars, Jeff.
Big field here at Five Flags, and looking at the order, we should tell everybody who our playoff drivers are. Josh Kosick leads with 2 wins. AJ Rogers was scheduled to come in second in the points, not here tonight, not going to partake, and not going to make the next round. So JJ Chansey, Caleb Hall, Zach Onen, Josh Parrish, Chris Roma, and Craig Tolley. The other drivers you got to be looking out for tonight is they're going to start working their way to green flag here, racing here in just a moment. The Islander in 125, and there's a lot on the line for a lot of these playoff guys because they are just mixed all throughout the field. Unlike last night where we saw the top 7 were all playoff drivers, this is they're spread throughout the field tonight.
Which is going to make it exciting. Those guys have to move forward. They have to try to make it into the next round, and they want to feel safe. Last night we had some fireworks about lap 75 where a bunch of playoff guys got bumped out. We'll see what happens as we go forward tonight.
Shout out to my dad, Jeff By, handing out, sent us 50 stars, and he is cheering for Super Zach Onen in the number 42 machine.
That's part of the Brett Suggs fan club is Super Zach now. I appreciate that.
So
I'm
here we
also a fan of Super Zach, Jeff.
absolutely Zach having a fantastic season.
I'm a fan of everybody. Can you tell? I really am.
I mean, we've gotten to the point where we're so close with a lot of these guys, and we're so friendly with so many of them. It's hard to root against anybody at this point.
It's impossible. It is impossible.
Yeah,
I want to see every single one win.
Pace cars off the racetrack. Ricky Howell taking his green flag racing for the Islander in 125. He is clear. Kyle Martinson down into the second spot early. Chris Roma trying to clear Aaron Plemons for third. Plemons going to fall back to the fourth spot. Sean Hayes going to take over fifth. Del Mears kind of rolling the top there in the 112, and he's going to pull ahead of the one car as they cross the line this time.
Del Mears trying to make it happen on the high side. That's not the fast way around. We didn't see anybody really benefit from being up there last night, but Del Mears making things happen as he's going to be side by side with Sean Hayes down into turn number 3.
And the caution going to wave as they head down the back straightaway. Trouble deep into the field.
Josh Kostick is around, Jeff, down in the grass in the back straightaway.
And that is a rough start for Kostick, one of your playoff drivers around. Little damage already to the 2 machine, and that is not the way to start your night.
Find out what happened to Josh. Pick him up. He's down at 3 and 4 as he came off 3 and 4. He's battling with John Piette.
We got some contact. He got into Piette. Piette made a heck of a save.
Ooh, and I think he got tagged from behind.
Yeah, and then Josh, as he lifted to let Piette gather it back up, he just kind of got hit from behind.
Chase Johnson with big damage in that one. I believe Peyton Aldridge also piled in as well. Got some damage on the front of his car. See if we can take a look and see if we have any better view of this. Looks like Piette really had the line there. We saw that situation happen a couple times last night. We had cars going down in turn number 1. Turn number 1's a wide sweeping corner. The front straightaway kind of bends a little bit. You can see Piette was clear down the front straightaway. Kind of decided to dive down into turn number 1 and just kind of came across the nose of Kostick. Again, last time we saw that situation happen, Denver Traves got involved as well. And Chase Johnson, wow, he's got big damage on the 83.
Yeah, not much that the 25 Devin Rogers could have done there, as things just kind of checked up in front of him very quickly. And right on corner exit, and that's where you don't want everybody slowing down in front of you, because you're picking up the throttle, you're thinking about how you're going to get off the corner, and then all of a sudden cars are slowing down, and then Kostick goes around, and then the 83 Chase Johnson nowhere to go, makes contact with Kostick, and now he's going to be on pit road trying to repair some damage, try to stay on the lead lap as he takes off down the pit road, and going to get back on the racetrack. But this is a tough start for the number 2 machine.
Devin Rogers did not pick up, looks like, any damage in the 25, just a little bump from him. That car will stay clean. A couple other cars get involved in that as well. So we take a look at Denver Traves' cars. He definitely got involved as well. Yeah, he's got damage on the nose of that machine. So tough start to the race there. Within 5 laps, first yellow.
That's going to set us up for a single file restart this time. And these guys trying to figure out the single file further back. I think everybody was all doubled up already and just didn't realize we were going single file restart here. Is Ricky Howell going to have full control of this one? As soon as the pace car leaves the racetrack, he gets to choose when to leave the racetrack, or when to bring this thing to green. As here we go, Ricky Howell on the loud pedal. He is about 3-4 car lengths over Kyle Martinson. Fantastic restart. Aaron Plemons gets into Chris Roma. Roma sideways. Caution is going to wave. And that was almost disastrous for Chris Roma. One of our playoff drivers is Aaron Plemons trying to play spoiler. Made some contact there.
He's got damage on the left side of the 83 machine. Now he's going to bring it around. Lost a couple spots on that exchange. Take a look at that on the replay. We were watching the start, Jeff. We didn't get an opportunity to see the leaders make contact with each other.
Yeah, that was for the 3rd position. And, I'm taking a look at it. That's tough. Single file restart. The 167, I can't tell if he's completely pulled alongside the 83 before the start-finish line. But he's certainly making that move early. And it gets down into turn 1, and there's just nothing there.
We're going to take a look at it for the County Road Custom Chopper Cam. One of my favorite shots, of course. Actually, make it the blimp. We'll go with the blimp. That's just a late move from the 67 car. He kind of gapped Chris a little bit. You see right before the restart, it looked like he was setting that up. So he dropped back a little bit. He kind of caught it back up, but just ended up with a better start. Got a little bit of a run as they went through the gears, and then just kind of a late. It's a tough one. That's a late move.
Yeah, and I think what it really comes down to is you're not supposed to be making passes before the start-finish line.
Well, he didn't really start it. We can go back. The blimp cam is beautiful, but he didn't really start the pass. He actually did dive to the bottom before the start-finish line, but hadn't gotten alongside. So there's not a whole lot of distance between start-finish line when you start turning the corner, and he wasn't there yet.
Yeah, just kind of an ultra aggressive move there as Clemens took a dive to the bottom. That's a tough call. That is a really close call.
Taking a look at the damage on the side of the 83 car. You can see Chris Roma actually made contact with Del Mears. Del Mears, as Chris Roma was sliding across the racetrack, just got into the door, driver's side door. This side looks good. The Roma dropped back from 3rd to 7th. Some playoff implications. He lost a few spots, making 4 spots in that exchange.
Well, a couple quick yellows to start this one. We're going to have another single file restart here as Ricky Howell going to take us back to Green Flag Racing. Kyle Martinson, Aaron Clemens, Sean Hayes, the 112 of Del Mears up in the 5th. And Kyle Martinson might have missed that start as Ricky Howell is checked out.
Well, he didn't miss it. He just went about 3 minutes afterwards.
So Ricky Howell he's pulled about half a straightaway on Kyle Martinson already. Is this going to really spread the field out, which might not be a bad thing and get us some Green Flag Racing here.
Already a battle, possibly.
First battle I see is Elliott Carlson. He's going to take a peek underneath John Piet. This is a battle for the 18th or 17th position right now as Elliott Carlson came out of that B main. He's trying to move forward early on.
Evan Rogers going to follow Elliott through. John Piet
teammates
up the racetrack. Yeah, teammates. John Piet up the racetrack. You see Caleb Hall trying to make his way forward in the 05 machine after winning the B-Dash.
Sean Hayes putting a lot of pressure on Aaron Clemens now for that 3rd spot. And Clemens, he has gained on the 07. And now Del Mears off the pace on the front straightaway. He's up against the inside wall and losing a lot of spots right now as he was running 5th and just had a moment that sent him all the way back to about the 11th position.
Yeah, he's dropped back to 11th in the 112 car.
And caution waves as we've got one around in turn 3 and 4.
Might be Devin Rogers in the 25.
Yeah, that is Devin in the 25 machine around, and the caution gonna wave. And this might have involved another one of our playoff drivers with the 05 of Caleb Hall.
Well, you have to decide when is a move made, Jeff. Let's take a look. I think TV3 will give us the best shot of this one as Caleb came down the back straightaway. And I think that's a dive bomb. He's not alongside at any point down the straightaway, just right in the braking zone. Does Devin back off now? He's actually catching Elliott down into the corner.
Yeah, and I think the issue there for Caleb is the entry is so shallow.
Oh yeah.
And he probably wasn't going to get that car to stay on the bottom of the racetrack right there.
He did move. I mean, in a slight defense of the 05, he made his intentions known by moving down the racetrack early. but I can drive all over the racetrack I want if I'm not next to a guy. I mean,
Yeah.
Devin Rogers, good thing for him he didn't run into anything. He just slid up the racetrack.
Well, Caleb Hall going to go to the rear of the field. Josh Kosick back on pit road trying to repair some damage. And I think, did Kosick just leave the server? Did Kosick just might have called it a night right there?
He's still in the pits.
Okay, so he's back on pit road. I lost him there for a second, but he's back on pit road.
I think he had quite a bit of damage on the 2 car from that earlier incident where he spawned and got hit. So I think he's trying to get that car patched up as much as possible. I think he's willing to give up maybe a lap to actually get the damage fixed on that machine, as the front end was quite messed up. Quite. That's a good word. That's all I came up with.
Well, you will lose a lap there, so that's tough. Is he, the door kind of opened there with Caleb Hall going to the rear of the field? Kosick, was back in that battle with Caleb Hall, and now he's going to go on pit road, and looks like he's going to lose at least 1 lap. So, be interesting with AJ out. Really, you only need to beat 1 driver.
Yeah, I think right now he's just willing to give up that lap, or maybe 2. If you go laps down, of course there are lucky dogs, right? So if you're willing to sit on pit road and get your damage fixed and see how good you can make the car, if there are going to be yellows, which we've seen obviously a run of them early here, he would get an opportunity to get back on the lead lap.
Well, we are double file, ready to go back to green flag racing with Ricky Howell, Kyle Martinson, Aaron Plemons, Sean Hayes, and then Chase Pierce up into the 5th spot now. Started 7th tonight, last week's winner. We are green flag racing once again, and Bill, I can tell you, Josh Kosick has left the server, so that is it. Our playoff drivers for the next round are now decided.
Ugh. That's tough for Josh Kosick, unfortunately. That just not his night in a 2-car.
Yeah, a lot of damage early on, and I think he just it's too much to handle. As we're 3 wide into turn 1, Brad Carpenter gets some contact from behind. Now JJ Chansey's around. We got a big wreck on the back straightaway. Elliot Carlson gets involved.
They're still wrecking. JJ Chansey has turned into a pinball out there as he's in that 2-car. He was bounced all over the place. I kept checking in other monitors, Jeff, but I think that started right there with Chansey and Brad Carpenter.
Yeah.
This one might be. This one is crazy. This is a little bit crazy.
Yeah, this is the 3 wide move into turn 1, and that's just a little too tight here at 5 Flags, honestly.
Yeah, we just watched it on the replay. We'll give you we'll do the blimp. That is always a fun. Actually, Chopper works for this one. You see, they're 2 wide already, and JJ says 3 wide's even better.
Yeah, and what happened to 31? Brad Carpenter, he entered kind of low.
Kind of missed the bottom.
Yeah, he missed the bottom, and so there was a hole there. But if you're JJ, you got to realize there's a car already on the outside of Brad. There's not much room, and nowhere for him to go as well. And JJ just gets in there on the inside, and just not quite enough room on the bottom of the racetrack.
And then just absolute mayhem. Craig Tully got through that. Wow, so did David Hill. Caleb Hall is able to get through it. I guess it doesn't even really matter for Caleb Hall now, as the playoff positions have been decided with Josh Kosick's issues. I feel terrible for Kosick. I mean, that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a tough break, and he will have 2 bonus points, but as long as none of the other playoff drivers finish worse than 26th, it won't come into effect. So, he's really at the mercy of somebody else possibly getting wrecked out, which is not a great way to leave things if you're Josh Kosick. So Tracy hanging out in the Facebook chat. Glad to have you here watching the race with us.
And we agree. Wow, that was messy. That was absolutely messy.
So saw some cars come down pit road. Adam Jocelyn, one of those drivers that came down pit road to repair some damage. JJ Chansey got a little damage. Denver Traves. Looked like Del Mears came down pit road. So those drivers going to rejoin at the rear of the field. And Bill, we've changed the restarts to single file here to see if we can get some green flag racing going. And pace car is going to head off the racetrack. Ricky Howell going to take us green flag racing once again. And again, Kyle Martin just not able to set the pace with the 20 there and gets left behind.
Kyle going to drop back about 3-4 car lengths from Ricky Howell. He's got Aaron Plemons on his bumper. You got Chase Pierce there as well. And that'll bring Sean Hayes. So 2, 3, 4, and 5 extremely fast drivers that Ricky Howell's taking a look at in his rearview mirror.
And Chase Pierce all over the 67 through 1 and 2, gave him a little shot in the middle of the corner. And again, last week's winner, and Aaron Plemons, a winner earlier this season as well. So a lot of fast cars here in this top 5 trying to work their way forward. Sean Hayes, we know the speed that Sean has, former winner in this series a couple seasons ago.
Chris Roma put some pressure on Jason Warren. That's going to be a battle for the 6th spot. So he looks to the inside going into turn number 1. Warren up the racetrack just a little bit. Here comes Roma in the 83.
And Chris currently leads all the playoff drivers on the racetrack. He's sitting 7th, and not what we expected. You didn't expect to see the playoff guys so far behind right now, but right now all the guys trying to play spoiler are walking away with this one.
So it's a spoiler 5-car breakaway out front. Is that what you're telling us?
Absolutely. And then Jason Warren sitting 6th right now, trying to keep that 83 behind him. And now Zach Onan coming into the picture. Zach is one of those playoff drivers currently running in the 8th spot in the number 42 car. They're starting to spread out now, and I see a fun battle here with Reagan Parent trying to get around the 09 of Elliott Carlson. These guys started deep. Elliott Carlson started in the 22nd position, currently running 13th. Reagan Parent, he started 27th tonight. He's currently running 14th, so good on them for working their way through the field early on.
Oh, Reagan Parent's going to get really sideways off the floor.
Big save.
Holy
Big save
cow.
from the 17. Behind them, Caleb Hall, he just picked up a spot from David Hill as he's working his way back forward to the 05 machine up to the 16th position. Here comes Devin Rogers, going to follow through.
Caleb Hall now dragging Devin Rogers with him through the field. So they made contact earlier and ended up both in the back together, and now they're following each other. That's good stuff.
Lap traffic going to come into play for the 20, Ricky Howell, the 26, Peyton Aldridge off the pace, getting out of the way. And that really kind of stacked up the top 5 as you had to get single file. And a couple guys were peeking out and then realized, hey, there's a lap car coming. We all got to get in line.
Yeah, that top 5, you can throw a blanket over those guys right now. Sean Hayes is the last car, maybe a car length back for everybody else, but the rest of them, they're all tight, nose to tail.
Yeah, great battle in this top 5 right now. Everybody nose to tail, and you got to wonder, is anybody trying to save it? Are they trying to push the pace, maybe make the other guys burn up their tires and save a little bit? I watched that one car, Sean Hayes, and it just kind of seems like he's just keeping pace right now. He's not in a big hurry. He just wants to stay with these guys and not use up his stuff.
I'm a tire saver, Jeff, and it's mainly because I'm slow.
Just naturally good at
right.
saving tires.
I can't use them up. I don't know how.
Well, more lap traffic on the way here as they're catching the 04 car of Jarrett Campbell. Again, nose to tail right now. Ricky Howell has led every single lap of this one, working lap 44. Aaron Plemons really putting the pressure on Kyle Martinson. Martinson not giving a lot on the bottom, and now he's going to get a little bump off turn 4.
So Martinson got a shot from Plemons. That moved that car around. Here comes Plemons down the back straightaway. He'll take a look to the inside. The door is closed. He'll have to back off. And whew, man, Chase Pierce, he is really close to the bumper of Plemons, and Sean Hayes is right there as well as they go by the 04 of Jarrett Campbell. Put him a lap down.
Yeah, and that actually let Ricky Howell kind of drive away a little bit. Martinson was sideways off turn 4, and that really let the 20 car kind of sneak away. And now he's got a little breathing room, and now it's Kyle Martinson that's really feeling the pressure because he has got Aaron Clemens, and obviously Aaron's in a bit of a hurry right now. He's already putting the bumper to the 07. We saw it last night how important track position was when they got out to the front. It was hard to get back around somebody, so track position can be very valuable here at this racetrack.
Good race on the racetrack right now, Jeff. The 6th, 7th, and 8th race is also very close, as you've got Jason Warren, Chris Roma, and Zach Onan. Onan has caught the battle that Roma and Warren have been having. They've got more cars that are about to catch them as well. As you can see, Josh Parrish is there coming into the screen, Rick Rue, Brad Carpenter, all those guys trying to gain on this group as they battle right outside the top 5.
Clemens has position underneath Kyle Martinson. Now they are going to battle for second as Clemens going to up the racetrack a little bit. They're going to run out of room as they make contact. A little door-to-door action there as Aaron Clemens going to get around Kyle Martinson. Now Chase Pierce going to try to follow through as well. He's going to try to get around this 07 machine.
Martinson up the racetrack on the high side. Now he's in the slow lane. Pierce is going to clear. Here comes Sean Hayes in the one, so move Kyle Martinson back from 2nd to 5th.
Martinson going to tuck back in line, and now this group going to have to try to run down Ricky Howell rather, because he stretched this thing out to about 7/10 over Aaron Clemens with that battle, and now Ricky Howell going to feel pretty comfortable right now out front.
Pretty comfortable until he starts watching his relative, Jeff, and if that starts to shrink, then you start getting really, really antsy up front.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll kind of watch the speeds right now as Aaron Clemens not able to take anything out of Ricky Howell's lead. He actually lost a little bit that time by, so the 20 machine showing great pace out front. And again, when you don't have somebody in your mirror, you can just kind of focus on what's out front and run nice, smooth laps.
Jumping back to that 6th place battles. Chris Roma almost got into Jason Warren heading into turn number 1 that time. These guys just a little bit back from your lead battle. Jason Warren basically pulls the second train of cars. You can see Roma moving all over the racetrack trying to find a run to get by the 45 car.
Yeah, it looks like Roma's a little bit faster, but again, track position so valuable at a racetrack like this. It's very, very difficult to pass, and obviously it's hard to get a car off the bottom here, and maybe sometimes it takes a little contact, but it's so hard to make that kind of contact as the caution waves.
David Hill at the bottom of the racetrack off of turn number 4 as he spins the car around.
And David going to continue on.
Craig Tully had made a move a couple laps ago around Brett Carpenter. That was a pass for 11th.
And Bill, we had an incident going down the back straightaway where Landon Huffman and David Hill got together. I got to tell you, I'm getting a look at the replay right now. It looked like David Hill tried to throw maybe a little block there down the back straightaway.
That was my first assessment of it as well. And we used to have a saying here when we were you and I were much more competitive.
Yeah.
We used to say, you block, you pay.
And I hate saying that nowadays because I don't want it to turn into a situation where people, he threw a block, I get to turn him around. That's not how that works. But when you got a car to the inside of you and you don't move up the racetrack, only bad things are going to happen to you.
Yeah, you can see as they come off of turn number 2. It's more of a joke, that saying is. But
right, yeah.
You can see as they come off of turn 2, the 03 of David Hill never moves or never apexes to the outside on the wall there. And he wasn't making a pass. I think it's Piet that's right in front of them in the 5. He's not making a pass. He just basically ran a different lane. We'll actually take a look at it from my favorite one, Jeff. We're gonna look at
the drone camera, right?
The blimp. We're gonna do the blimp.
Oh, the blimp.
Yeah, the blimp.
The county road custom blimp.
The county road custom blimp. So you see him, but he's way down the racetrack, middle of the racetrack, because he's got Landon Huffman to his inside. Huffman was there from the exit of the corner. Unfortunately, Del Mears got involved in that one as well.
Yeah, and it looked to me like David even about mid straightaway started to come down even more, where he was like, no, really, you're not going to pass me on the inside, and Landon Huffman was saying, no, really, I'm already here.
Yeah, I'm already here. Please don't come down any farther.
Shout out to Crystal Clark for 100 stars. Crystal, thank you so much.
You know why she's so excited, Jeff? Because her husband finished third at Florence in a Charger car last
Yeah,
weekend.
that
So
that is awesome. Donald, that's cool to see Donald switch into the real thing, and I miss having Donald Clark racing with us.
same.
But I'm glad to see him doing some real racing and getting that real car running really well, and
Well, it was somebody
hopefully,
else's car.
oh, is it somebody else's? I thought it was
He
his
wasn't
car.
in it. He has that beautiful blue 18 car, and I mean, I fought with he and our friends on Facebook, right? I hadn't seen anything about it in a little while, and I did see that he was at Florence and he was racing in a number 40, another really nice car. Put it on the pole, ended up third.
Wow, nice job,
I think
Donald.
there's an invert there too. And remember, our driver used to race with Brendan Lee was in that race as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we haven't seen Brandon in a little bit, but it kind of always happens that way with our summer stuff. We lose a
Real
lot of
racing.
people. Yeah, we lose a lot of people to the real races for the summer, and then they'll come back in the winter, and hopefully Donald will have some time to come back. His pace car heads off the racetrack. Ricky Howell, Aaron Plemons on that front row, and Ricky again with a fantastic restart. Here comes Chase Pierce. He's looking for second.
Chase Pierce to look to the inside of Aaron Plemons. Plemons had to start on the outside, didn't get quite the restart he needed. We saw a couple times last night the guy in second was able to get down behind the leader. Plemons not able to do so this time as we got a car sideways. There was some contact. That's going to bring out a yellow. I'm not sure anybody spun around.
Well, Landon Huffman went around in turn two.
Okay.
So we had a situation, I think it was right around John Piette and Landon Huffman. And I think Piette might have went around, collected the 84.
I think Landon Huffman just really showed his displeasure with Chase Johnson. Unless,
Well, I'm not sure that Chase Johnson really had anything to do with it, but
because Landon Huffman just destroyed his car on Chase Johnson's back bumper. Not sure what caused that, but that just occurred. We watched it happen.
well, that's one of those situations where we always say, hey, before you do anything, make sure you know what happened and check the replay, because Chase Johnson had nothing to do with that
Yeah,
wreck.
he wasn't anywhere near it. So let's take a look and see what Landon Huffman had happened to him through. Oh, it's John Piette end up sideways.
Yeah, and Piette might have got a little help. That's Del Mears in the 112 behind him. Adam Jocelyn got collected as well in that whole deal.
Oh, you have to go back and look to see what happens with Landon. With that is very strange because he really seeing Landon's car now. I think Dell got into Piette possibly. Is that what you called? You see that on the?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's what we like to call a C car don't hit car situation.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've told Dell that before. Like, we've had this discussion.
Yeah, that's definitely Dell getting into that car. Huffman gets spun around, so Huffman, I don't know what. Now let's follow Landon Huffman here as we try to figure out. We'll go ahead and zip forward a little bit, but he comes around the track, and he is flying down the front straightaway, and just smashes into the back of Chase Johnson. And I laugh at it, but I laugh because I'm in disbelief. The back end of the Chase Johnson's car takes like no damage. These cars are tanks on the rear end. And that really, for the most part, destroyed Huffman's car, which was pretty well fine before that.
Well, shout out to my dad, Jeff I gave us 50 more stars. Thank you so much for that. And he wanted to say congratulations to Donald on his run this weekend. And Crystal was saying that she misses him racing here too because this is less stressful. And I find that hard to believe because Donald has the worst ITZR luck I've ever seen. And I can't imagine his races are less stressful here than they are in real life.
Right. Yeah. What we had the Donald Clark, what did I do to deserve this award? At least he's not getting that award in real life.
Right, yeah. Well, we are going to have a single file restart here. We did not complete a lap on that one. Ricky Howe, Chase Pierce now into that second spot as we go green.
Single file restart. Everybody can get past the flag stand. We'll watch everyone there. Looked like there might have been a battle, almost a side-by-side battle as they came to the line between Odin and Craig Tully.
Ooh, big wreck in turn one. Elliot Carlson involved. David Hill involved. I think that's Devin Rogers that went around as well.
Come on now, guys. You can't get into turn one single file? What's happening?
Elliot Carlson got turned around going into turn one, and I think he got a little help from the 31 of Brad Carpenter.
Yeah, see, there was a little stack up there. Carpenter just gets to the back of Kellen Carlson 2 or 3 times. Oh my goodness. And then multiple cars just piling in. Of course, we say ARCA braking, Jeff, but it is so hard to see through these super late models. If you're following somebody, you cannot see the cars out in front of you. And that sounds horrible, but we could prove it to you if we look at one of the guys that came in late and ran into the cars. There is a stack up. And then Devin Rogers, yeah, Brad Carpenter just gets in the back, Elliot Carlson. And then, man, oh man, David Hill. We're going to take a look at David Hill in this one, Jeff, because he just comes in and bang. So here's David. He is not really following any cars. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you can see the wreck and hope that it clears.
Yeah, that was a big one. That was a big wreck right there. I collected a lot of cars, and again, Elliott was running, I think, around the 12th position or so.
Yeah, I think David Hill had a "you can drive through it, Cole" moment, and it was the first wreck in the movie, not the second one where he was able to get through. So Elliot Carlson looks like he's trapped behind the leaders here. Devin Rogers as well. They were stuck on the racetrack. Elliot Carlson's car is 100% worse for wear. You see they get a wave by. Get sent back around to catch up to the field. Elliot Carlson, his car has turned into what looks like a dirt car that's finished an entire season. Take a look at Elliot here. That car looked much better earlier in the evening. You can see on the left rear quarter panel, you got the Shock Eye 12 Racing. Those are our setup builders here at In the Zone Racing. And man, we've got a lot of compliments this week on this setup. So they nailed it with this one. This one, Brett Suggs said it last night in his interview. It bridged the gap between open setup racing and fixed setup racing. That's very cool. So if you want to learn, if you want to get into a super late model series and you're out there looking at different super late model leagues and whatnot, this one is a fixed setup league. However, our setups border or are closer to what you would find in an open setup league, like Sim Auto Racing Association, who we broadcast every other Thursday night. But if you're looking to race on a Tuesday night and find out what those setups feel like, you can join this series. We only have 2 races remaining after this one. We will have another season coming up. Well, at some point. We haven't decided yet.
Well, here we go. Pace car heading off the racetrack. We are green flag racing once again with Ricky Howe out front.
Trouble down the front straightaway. Kyle Martinson made contact with Aaron Plemons. They got sideways, almost caught the inside wall. Sean Hayes is there as well. Martinson, he's going to stay in 5th. I don't know how they made contact. Those guys weren't even running. I'm not sure what happened on that restart, Jeff. I think they were 3rd and 5th that somehow came together. Maybe Sean Hayes was involved in that as well, but I just saw Martinson almost get the inside wall.
Yeah, a lot of going on there on that restart, single file restart. Chris Roma was able to get around the 32 with Jason Warren. Now Josh Parrish putting the pressure. Yeah, and Zach Onen just got sideways off turn 4 as well, and that lost some ground there to Josh Parrish.
He's got Craig Tully putting pressure on him. That's Zach Onen, the 42 car. Josh Parrish trying to make his way forward. He came out of the B main last night and had a solid run. I believe he finished 11th in the late model shootout series. So right now, Josh Parrish running 8th tonight in the Challenger series.
So Ricky Howe still out front, trying to put a gap here on the 17 of Chase Pierce. But he's got a mirror full of Aaron Plemons. Sean Hayes currently runs in the 4th spot. Kyle Martinson still holding on to 5th. Chris Roma now leading all the playoff drivers in 6th. Jason Warren 7th. Josh Parrish up to the 8th spot. Zach Onen 9th. Craig Tully currently in the top 10. Look who's coming now. Caleb Hall from the B main, looking to take a peek underneath the 50 machine.
Jared Campbell going to go a lap down in the 04. Here comes Caleb Hall. You talked about. Here comes Josh Parrish. Josh Parrish going to make a move underneath Jason Warren. That's going to be a battle for the 7th spot. Parrish not able to make the move. did take a peek, so Parrish put pressure on the 45.
Yeah, a little contact there off turn 4 as the 50 got hung out to dry behind the lap car. Now Caleb Hall has a position underneath them for the 10th spot.
A little bit of mayhem as Jarrett Campbell was getting lapped in the 04 car. Tully popped out, thought maybe he'd go around some cars, and almost ran into the back of the 04. Good job of those drivers not making any contact. Tully loses a spot.
Up front, Ricky Howell has stretched that lead out as Aaron Plemons caught the wall down the front straightaway. A little contact with the outside wall for the 67 machine. Now Plemons lost some ground to Chase Pierce.
Chase Pierce doing a nice job again in the 17 car. Your winner last week at USA.
Caleb Hall gets around Jason Warren, so move Caleb Hall now up into the 9th position.
Now he's behind Super Zach Ullen as he's trying to get off of turn number 2. Caleb Hall already got a yellow tonight in the 05. Had to come from the back a second time after he came out of the B main, making the B dash. Now he's all the way back up, putting pressure on the 8th place car. That's a lot of passing cars, Jeff.
That is a lot of passing cars here. For this kind of racetrack, it's very difficult to do that. He's having a fantastic run and rallying really well here as Kyle Martinson takes a peek underneath Sean Hayes, the 07 machine. He had fallen back a little bit on that last green flag run. Now he's trying to work his way back forward.
Yeah, that whole group up front, those 5 cars, those are very fast guys. Is now Kyle Martinson going to look underneath Sean Hayes. Hayes up the racetrack. He'll let Martinson have that spot because they make contact after that pass.
Yeah, I think the one was trying to keep his momentum up. He let the 07 go, and then when he got back on the throttle, the 07 just wasn't powered up yet. And he kind of ran to the back of him. So we got a challenge now. It's Josh Parrish on Chris Roma. Parrish is starting to take a peek to the 80 inside the 83 now.
Josh Parrish, there's a fire lit under Josh tonight.
Yeah, Josh, one of those playoff drivers, and you really got to watch him. He hasn't won a race this season, but he is coming to life right now in this playoff run, and he is looking very, very strong. He could be one of the guys you got to beat as the caution waves.
JJ Chansey possibly with an issue?
Ooh, yeah, and Reagan Parent just got involved here. As Chansey was sitting sideways on the racetrack, Parent kind of ran into him, nowhere to go for the 17 main.
Jump back, take a look, see what happened with these drivers. Chansey was running behind Denver Traves. Oh, Traves gets, wow. Traves gets into the wall, and Chansey's just sitting on the racetrack, and oh, Reagan just picks the wrong lane. Just couldn't make the turn, ends up hitting the 2 car. That one started with Denver Traves climbing the wall in the front straightaway. That is, that was exciting.
Yeah, that's a tough break for JJ Chansey, and again, one of our playoff drivers. Fortunately for JJ, things have kind of calmed down. He doesn't need to really have a great run tonight because everybody else is already out. So again, AJ Rogers was not able to take part tonight, and Josh Kossick out of this one. So really, they just have to finish 26 or better, and they're in. And right now, JJ Chansey, even with that incident, still currently running 20th on the racetrack.
Well, that was fun. We just rode with Denver Traves on that one, Jeff. And he got up and kind of did a nice little rail slide up on the wall for you skater people out there.
Yeah, Denver now on pit road. He got a lot of damage to the right side of that car. It's pretty scraped up. So that puts us under caution here as we work lap 93 of this 125 lapper. And Bill, it's about the time you start pulling out that one saying that you like to say.
I don't know if I want to bring it out, Jeff. This has been pretty rough. I honestly, these guys, I don't think it's ever come down. So, especially in the playoff races, right? I think we had it last night. You can feel the intensity all night long. But if it can go up, the price of poker is definitely going up right now. Is all these cars are going to be packed together. But the question is, can anybody cover Ricky Howe? He has been flying tonight.
Yeah, and his restarts have been fantastic, which has really taken the pressure off of him. Everybody else has been fighting just to keep up. So we are going to go double file restart now. Chase Pierce to the
you're
outside.
generous, aren't you?
With the double file, we made the call during that long green flag run. We go back to double file.
And it was so fun having green flag racing, so now we go back to double file restarts.
Well, here we go. Pace car going to head off the racetrack. Ricky Howell, Chase Pierce on that front row on the loud pedal once again. Ricky Howell, again, 4, 5 car lanes at the line. He's been fantastic on the restarts. Aaron Clements put the pressure on Chase Pierce. Pierce was not able to get down in front of the 67 machine. So here comes Clements trying to take that second spot back.
Clements pressuring Pierce. He's to the inside through turns 1 and 2. Behind them, you can see Sean Hayes. He's to the inside of Kyle Martinson. They'll battle side by side down the back straightaway.
And caution, gonna wave as I see Tyler Perkins around in the middle of turn 2. That's the 72 machine.
I said it. We had so much fun with all that green flag racing, we decided to get rid of it. Down into turn 1, Tyler Perkins had some issues trying to figure out why he ended up backwards. Well, he makes contact with Brad Carpenter. Everybody was down on the bottom. We're going to have to go to the chopper cam on that one to see exactly what happens.
Yeah, they kind of came together, but I'm seeing a lot of net code there. I don't know if you're going to be seeing the same thing as I do.
The blimp was awful for that one. I'm very disappointed. Very
drone
disappointed.
camera.
The drone cam. All right. The drone. Here we go. Oh, that is netcode. If anybody wonders what we talk about when we say netcode, watch between the right front of the 31 and the left rear of the 72. There'll be a gap there. You'll see pavement, and it makes the 72 car spin. And that we don't call, folks. That just ends up being a netcode issue because you don't know if they were ever going to make contact. iRacing thought they were, but they never did.
Shout out to Bladen Edwards in the Facebook chat said, I kind of wish I was here. And Bladen, we kind of wish you were here too.
Should we send him a postcard that says, wish you were here?
We should. Wish you were racing, Bladen.
That's what that reminded me of, those postcards. Wish you were here. Get him a beach and a palm tree. Actually, we're in the perfect place. We're in Pensacola, Florida here at Five Flag Speedway. You can send him a picture from the beach. Wish you were here, Blade. Shout out to Josh Parrish. He's made his way forward in the 55 car.
Yeah, Josh having a fantastic run, leading now all of the playoff drivers in the 6th spot. We kind of miss him making a move there around the 83 of Chris Roma. Roma is back to the 9th position. He actually got passed by Caleb Hall and Zach Onen on that run.
Did you ever notice that he and Craig Tully always seem to be on the track together?
Yeah, they do.
They're teammates.
Yeah, they are, and they have a tendency to wind up right about the same spot as well, which is kind of interesting. Kind of reminds me of like Formula One, where you have the two team cars always kind of end up right next to each other because of the same speed. And yeah, I've always found that funny, where they always kind of find each other towards the end of these races.
Roma Brothers Racing right there. Both cars sitting side by side. Hopefully there aren't any issues as they sit side by side.
Yeah. Well, two of the cleanest drivers we have in ITZR. Those two are unbelievably good at avoiding incidents. And as the pace car goes off the racetrack, Ricky Howell, Aaron Clements side by side now on the front row. Chase Pierce on the inside for this restart. And he got a fantastic restart. He's going to be door to door with Aaron Clements. And again, Ricky Howell's going to love to see this battle behind him.
Here comes Chase Pierce once again. Lost second place because of the previous restart. Now Aaron Clements had to start on the outside, so he's going to have to battle on the outside with Chase Pierce to the inside. So can Pierce take away from Clements? They go sideways, and Clements is going to retain second. I don't know if that's a good thing.
And John Piet turned around and going into turn 3.
So you're saying you want to start double file? Take a look and see what happened to John as they went down the back straightaway.
And this is the second time that Del Miras has gotten into John Piet.
They're not going to be happy with each other after this race. I'm thinking. Oh, we gotta take a look at that. The TV3 cam will give us a good one of this one. Does John back off really? Not terribly. I guess Dell probably expected him to go in quite a bit harder.
Yeah, when you're running the outside, you can really
Yeah.
sell it off in there, and I think that's what Dell was expecting. But
You can
at the same
see he and Brad Carpenter, Dell and Brad Carpenter went in about the same speed on that entry. And John just wasn't quite going as hard. He was going about as hard as JJ was. So those cars gained on each other, but the two cars in the back, Dell was closer and ran into the back of the 5.
No, and I get that it's a C car don't hit car
C-car don't hit
situation
car
there.
situation.
And with Dell, I mean that's the second time that's happened. You kind of have to learn which guys are backing up their entry a little bit, and that's part of racing with people. You're racing with the same people over and over and over every single week for 12 weeks. At this point in the season, you got to have a little bit of a feel for who's going to let up early and who rolls the centers and it's kind of a learning process. You kind of have to figure it out and get used to racing with guys. And right now, that's those two are just not figuring it out with each other.
I will say this: I think it is harder to race in a pack with this super late model than it was in the previous super late model. Although I have done, I think, 5 races in this car in a pack, as I did run the part of the Sim Auto Racing Association Contender Series last season. But I just feel like it seems like these guys are constantly trying to get everything they possibly can, and that causes some of these stack-up wrecks where we see a lot more accordion stuff happening. That's just me extrapolating what we're seeing on the racetrack. Because otherwise, I won't be able to explain it, Jeff.
I think we've talked about it. This is probably one of the hardest cars on iRacing to race, and you're seeing it. You see why it's so difficult.
But it is such a beautiful race car.
Yeah, it absolutely. I mean, it's not that far off of real life. I mean, how many super late model races do you see where they turn into this kind of situation? As pace car heads off the racetrack, Ricky Howell, Aaron Plemons now single file restart. Sean Hayes got a little bit of a run there on the 17 of Chase Pierce. He's going to probably have to give that spot back.
Hayes going to drop behind the 17. He does so. Pierce doesn't seem to get the memo that he's going to get that spot, so he kind of ran that corner a little bit high. That's going to give Plemons an opportunity to try to get some laps in without any kind of pressure behind him. So see if Plemons can run down the 20 of Ricky Howell.
Yeah, time is starting to tick away right now as Aaron Plemons back into the second position, able to get there on that last run, and now trying to chase down Ricky Howell. But Howell has been absolutely fantastic out front. Been doing a fantastic job out in the front of the field, and again, a quick qualifier, and has not really looked back since.
We just had an issue off of turn number 4 that didn't cause a yellow. David Hill, he made contact with Tyler Perkins, and they got sideways, but there was no yellow. Elliot Carlson's rolling around on the apron in turns 1 and 2.
You're not sure what happened there with Elliott. He was down on pit road trying to get back on the racetrack, and field was coming. He did the right thing, stayed out of the way. Sean Hayes really putting the pressure on Chase Pierce, but he's got a mirror full of Caleb Hall, who's now moved up into the 5th position, and Hall has been on a tear since coming through that B main, and he is trying to crack his way into the top 4 now.
Wow, now Sean Hayes going to make a move on Chase Pierce. Pierce is up the racetrack. We got a problem. Jared Campbell, he stopped on the top side of turn number 2.
In the 04 car, trouble for the 04 machine. Came to a stop at the top of the racetrack. That is going to bring out a yellow.
Not sure what happened to him. Boy, he was having all kinds of problems in the 04. He came off at turn number 4, got loose, looks like on his own, maybe a pushy loose situation where he yanked it down. That hurt the 04 car. And then he just gets tatered by Peyton Aldridge, who came around and basically just slams into the back of him, pushes him up into the outside wall in turns 1 and 2. And I think possibly at that point the 04 was broken.
Yeah, tough break for the 04.
So he is going to sit on pit lane and try to fix that car. You can see the front tires moving. That is the suspension being fixed, folks. That's not him
Yeah.
moving the wheel.
Yeah, he took a pretty big contact on the inside wall. Took a pretty big shot from behind. Peyton Aldridge really clobbered that 04 car. So he sailed it off into turn 1. The 04 was there.
iRacing has a progressive repair system, so you will see parts of that car moving as the, and I say this with quotes, you can't see me, but as they fix the car. But it is so slowly as you sit on pit road, it slowly fixes your car. You can see that right front tire was moving all over the place.
Well, looking at the running order right now, Ricky Howell, Aaron Plemons, Chase Pierce, Sean Hayes, Caleb Hall, Josh Parrish running 6, Chris Roma, Zach Onen, Craig Tolley, Landon Huffman now into the top 10. He started 23rd tonight. Done a fantastic job in the 84 machine. Caleb W. Hill running 11th, Adam Jocelyn, Jason Warren, Rick Rube, JJ Chansey, your top 15 cars. We still have 21 cars on the lead lap, and still 21 out there. I think Reagan Parent's still making laps in the 22nd position, 5 laps down.
Jeff, what happened to Kyle Martinson?
I was wondering the exact same thing. I just noticed he's 13 laps down. I don't know what happened to Kyle. He must have pulled off the racetrack, called it a night, but he was in the top 5 for most of the night.
Yeah, I was just looking at the running order. We put it up here on the screen, and it shows Kyle Martinson down 117 laps, which isn't correct. I don't know why it tells you that after they go a lap down, but well, actually, you know what it is? It's when they leave the server. So Kyle Martinson is actually out, and so it's showing him 117 laps down, and we were watching him running in the top 5 all night long.
Well, I want to give a shout out on Facebook. Noreen Mears in the house, Dale Mears' mom, and she said when they used to run the All Pro Series, Five Flags was one of their favorite tracks, and they missed those days. And I imagine if I was down in Florida, I think I'd be hanging out at Five Flags a lot. It's a pretty cool racetrack, and the super late model racing in Florida is just insane. I mean, there are so many cars, and they race basically all year round. I mean, It's got to be a ton of fun to live down there in that Florida area. As we go back to Green Flag Racing, Ricky Howell on his way already, and he kind of caught everybody off guard.
Chase Pierce going to get underneath Aaron Plemons. Here comes Sean Hayes in the 1. They continue their battle in the top 5. Add a new driver into it as Caleb Hall has moved into 5th position. You got Josh Parrish running 6th. Pierce going to be super sideways off of turn number 4. He'll spin.
And Pierce, last week's winner, spins coming down the front straightaway. That's going to bring out a caution. And that is a heartbreaker because Chase was so close to maybe trying to go back-to-back tonight and just running 3rd. Maybe he stepped on the throttle a little too much, and he was trying to keep it off Aaron Plemons, I think. And when he stepped on the throttle, that thing just snapped sideways.
Just wiggled, wow, Brad Carpenter. Jeff, you get an opportunity to go back and look at that. Brad Carpenter says, I'll go to the bottom. But, yeah, you can see it in the replay. You see that car just start to wiggle, and there's nothing for Sean Hayes to do.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I don't even think it was that the 17 was on the throttle and that got loose on him. I think it was just a pushy loose situation where he was trying to keep it off Aaron. It got tight on him on exit of the corner. He was trying to keep it off Aaron, and then it started to turn back to the left, and he was just kind of along for the ride. He just off the pace coming off turn 4, gets turned around, and as you said it, the 31 Brad Carpenter just sneaks through that one.
You can actually hear Sean Hayes modulating the throttle as he had gotten off, trying not to hit Chase Pierce. Just couldn't avoid him. Try to see if we can get a look at Pierce's view. Yeah, he's burping. He's on and off the throttle, Jeff. I think it unsettled his car. So Pierce was obviously fighting some kind of loose.
Yeah, tough break for Pierce, who was running in the top 5 most of the night. They're running 3rd and having that battle with Aaron Plemons, and that's going to be a break for Aaron Plemons.
Did we talk about Crystal Clark's last comment about Donald Clark
No, he did
and
not.
crashing in real life.
Yeah.
I don't think he's taken a wreck in real life. I hope he hasn't. I haven't seen it. I know his car was beautiful, so I hope he didn't wreck that 18 car.
Well, Bill, here we go. We are into our green-white checkered finishes now. First of 3, if needed. It'll be a double file one. The next one would be single file if it's needed. Ricky Howell, Aaron Plemmich, Sean Hayes, Caleb Hall, Josh Parrish now into the top 5. Zach Onen running 6th. Chris Roma 7th. Landon Huffman up to 8th now on the racetrack as pace car lights are out. Ricky Howell gets full control of this restart.
Loud pedal. Aaron Plemmons trying to get down in front of Sean Hayes. Just chopped him off coming off of turn number 4. They made contact. Caleb Hall's going to go to the outside to try to make a move. That's not the fast way around. Let's see what he can do in the 05.
And that's going to let Ricky Howell just drive away with this thing. And barring any caution, he's got nobody near him. White flag is out for Ricky Howell.
Caleb Hall sideways off of turn 4, made contact with Sean Hayes. There's a 3 wide. Josh Parrish just got hit by Landon Huffman. There's going to be a wreck on the back straightaway. We'll stay with Ricky Howell.
And off turn 4, Ricky Howell going to pick up the Islander in 125. Aaron Plemmons going to come home 2nd. And the 1 of Sean Hayes finishes 3rd.
And then just throw them all in a jar and mix them up and see where they come home, because there was just mayhem off of turn number 2. Wow, Jeff, I start to get a little bit concerned as Landon Huffman backs across the start-finish line. Just seemed like there was a lack of avoiding each other on the back straightaway.
Well, Caleb Hall going to come home 4th. Zach Onen gets 5th. Chris Roma 6th. Adam Jocelyn in his debut this season finishes 7th. Caleb W. Hill 8th. Josh Parrish comes home 9th. JJ Chansey, after all JJ went through, he comes home with a top 10. Rick Rube 11th. Jason Warren, Tyler Perkins, John Piette, Devin Rogers comes home 15th.
David Hill will come home 16th, Delmere 17th, Chase Pierce 18th, Brad Carpenter 19th, Craig Tully 20th, Landon Huffman 21st, Reagan Parent 22nd, Denver Traves 23rd, Elliot Carlson 24th, Jared Campbell 25th, Kyle Martinson 26th, Peyton Aldridge 27th, Chase Johnson 28th, and Josh Kosick rounds out the field in 29th. But holy cow.
Well, Bill, we get to talk to our winner right now. Ricky Howell going to join us. And Ricky, you set fast time. You led every single lap, but you had some fast cars barreling down on you at the end of that one. What was it like with Plemmons and those guys right behind you?
Yeah, it seemed like bear with me. I got strep throat, so my voice sounds a little rough. But there at the end of it, I was just kind of getting nervous on them restarts. We'd been hitting them good all night, but they was catching on there, and they was getting closer to me on the restart. So had my nerves up there a little bit there at the end.
So Ricky, I don't think we've talked to you before this season, correct?
Yeah, we started the season out. I jumped on here. I hadn't been on. It's probably around about 8 months since I've been on running any, and I'm usually pretty good in them, but it took a while for me to get back in the rhythm of things, and it feels like I'm getting settled back in now.
So been a bit of an up and down season. Is there some? And we've seen you. We have noticed actually, because we've talked about it off of broadcast. But is Five Flags a place that you felt like you could get right and basically dominate the field like you did?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we'd have a shot at it. I didn't know that we'd be able to qualify on the pole and lead the whole thing. Which I put a lot of time in this week. Just practicing on a pole time because I knew that there wasn't any invert, and I think that's what really played into her hands tonight, qualifying on the pole and being able to control them restarts.
Well, you talked about it. You really had good control of those restarts, and really towards the end there, I mean, you were pulling 3-4 car lanes at the line. Was there anything specific you felt like you were doing there on the restarts to try to get away?
Well, I kind of, set it up there at the beginning of the run. I was hoping that we'd be in that spot later in the race, so I was kind of waiting later, earlier in the race, and then when we got to the end of it, I was trying to go a little sooner, throw it off from what I'd been doing earlier in the run.
So Ricky, we're in our playoff format right now, and you're not in that playoff contention due to obviously things that happen during the regular season. Is it fun playing the role of spoiler and just trying to pick up wins here in the Challenger Series?
Yeah, it definitely is. I heard them guys in the interview, everybody going into the playoffs last week. It kind of got to me, and so I put in some extra time this week because I really, them guys are really good. So I put in some extra time practicing this week. I wanted to get up front and run good and have a good showing, and it seemed it paid off.
Well, it certainly did. Ricky did a fantastic job tonight. A lot of speed right from the get go, and wanted to see if you had anybody that you wanted to thank, anybody that's been helping you out and helping you get back into the knock the rust off and get back into this iRacing deal.
Yeah, Phantom Racing. I want to thank them. JWB Contractors, New River Recycling. And still, I got to get them guys put on the car. Uh, and just Phantom, them guys. We get in there, even though Scott and Jack was running at the beginning of the year with us, and even though they're not running now, we still get in rooms together. They helped me out. Both of them jumped in the room with me this week, and we put some laps down and tried to figure some stuff out. And it really helped out. Them guys helping me paid off.
Well, Ricky, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us, and congratulations on becoming a ITZR Challenger Series winner. It's actually a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I thought we might have got there last week, but the invert got us. We got back there and got in a little bit of trouble and got knocked out of it. But thank you guys for all that you do. Y'all put on, I think, the best broadcast on iRacing, and I just appreciate everything y'all do and this league does.
Well, thanks, Ricky, and thanks again for taking the time to talk with us. And we can't wait to see you next week. The Daniel Williamson Memorial 126 next week in Martinsville.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think we might be able to do something in Martinsville next week. We'll have to see. That's one of my better tracks on iRacing, so we'll see if we can back it up. I don't know if we can or not, but we're going to try.
All right, well, we can't wait to see you there.
Great job, Ricky.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Well, Sean Hayes, or actually, we're gonna talk to Aaron Plemons first. So Aaron Plemons gonna join us now. Gonna finish second tonight, and Aaron, you had a lot of speed there. You got kind of in a battle with Chase Pierce that allowed Ricky kind of get away for a while. Was it hard to keep getting back up there to the front whenever those yellows would come out and you'd have to restart on the outside?
Yeah, that restart sucked, dude. I just could never time when he was gonna go ever. Every restart he's gonna jump and went up far away. I feel like I had a little bit something for him, a little bit, but he did a good job holding his line, not getting loose on the straightaway, and holding the lead.
Well, Aaron, it's good to see you back here with the series. Do you think with more? I mean, the restarts obviously was something you'd have to fight with every single time. You have to be on the outside, you have to be on the inside. However, it ends up lining up. Do you think more of a green flag run would give you the opportunity to get to Ricky?
Oh yeah, I needed like a 50 lap green flag run, and instead we were getting 10, 12, 15. Like it, I just needed a little bit longer. I wish it went green to the end after the last caution was like on lap 90 or something. That would have been a good one. Just I couldn't. I just never timed to start, and that was just huge advantage for him.
Well, I gotta wonder. This is one of the first races actually the first race of the season where we didn't have inverts, and I kind of wonder from some of the guys that qualify really well. Do you guys prefer this setup where we put the fastest car on the pole, or would you prefer to have the inverts and try to beat them to the front?
I like the invert. If you put the fastest guy in the pole, it's like watching paint dry. You know what I mean? So it just it. I like the inverts, but if I qualified pole next week, I'd hate them.
Right.
So it's fun for the fans to watch. I guarantee they like those inverts, but it's kind of 50-50 for me. I don't really mind it. I like having fun, like battling. So I kind of like the invert.
Well, during the playoffs, it's going to be like this the entire time, Aaron. So unfortunately, we're not we're not going to have any of those. Yeah. But moving forward, Martinsville and Myrtle Beach, we call you guys the spoilers, the guys that aren't taking part in the playoff chase basically. So do you think you have anything, or maybe you'll pick up another win going forward?
Yeah, I'm decent at Lawrenceville, so I think I'll be very good there. I'm not trying to spill anybody's playoffs, or I'm here to win, show I can do it the right way and
Absolutely.
the only way.
Well, that's awesome, Aaron. And before we let you go here, is there anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out that might be watching here on Facebook?
Uh, just all my teammates at BHR. Josh, he had a little bit of a rough night tonight, but he's in the playoffs. I think he is at least. And yeah, just everyone at BHR. You guys for putting this on and let me back in here. I have a blast every Tuesday. Hopefully, I can come back next year and be in the playoffs. But for now, I'm just here to win.
All right, Aaron, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us, and can't wait to see you in the final two races. Should be a lot of fun. It's looking like we got some really fast guys here that have started to come back into the series late and really are going to be putting on a good show to the end.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. What's the last race? I have to ask that. What is the very last race?
Myrtle Beach is the last one.
Perfect. All right, it's gonna be fun 2 last races.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Aaron, and we'll
Thanks,
see you
guys.
next week.
Great job,
Thank you.
Aaron.
All right, now we're going to talk to our third place finisher, Sean Hayes. And Sean, we haven't actually gotten to talk to him since he won the dirt race at the beginning of the preseason dirt race at Knoxville. And Sean, you had a ton of speed last week. You didn't get the finish you probably deserved. It's got to feel good to come back this week and finally get a top three, get to come back and talk to us in the booth.
Yeah, I took some time off from the asphalt for a little bit once I got back from vacation and started running a lot more dirt after winning the dirt race, ironically, and decided to come back and try it out a little bit more, hoping to try and get promoted, but haven't made some of the best moves. Doesn't look too good past 2 races.
Well, you had a good night tonight, Sean. But did now you got to tell us. You just gave us a little nugget of information there. Did the dirt race inspire you to run dirt, or you just said, "Hey, I'm gonna go run dirt"? That was fun.
I've started out on dirt and then transitioned back over, so after
Multi-talented then.
yeah, I've transferred back over, I guess you could say, but it's been fun to take a break from the asphalt, get away from the drama, I guess you could say.
Well, you say you're coming back to the asphalt stuff now. Is it mostly super late model stuff, or do you do any other stuff, any of the NASCAR stuff? Like, what exactly are you running?
I'm not I'm not talented enough for anything but super.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe.
Well, Sean, we move forward, and we've been talking to everybody, basically the top 3 drivers. I mean, our first playoff driver finished fourth, so we've been talking to each one of the guys, and we want to know: is it fun to come in here and play? I mean, I hate to say that, I like it, but is it fun to come in here and play spoiler to race with these guys that are running for a playoff championship, to run for late model Challenger Series title? Is it fun to run out front and try to win races?
I mean, I'm just here to win races. I mean, even if I was running in points and was involved in the points, either way, I'm here to win races, get a trophy. I mean, yeah, I guess you could
I
say
like
it could
that.
be fun.
Yeah. Well, Sean, before we let you go tonight, is there anybody you want to thank? Maybe anybody that might be watching on Facebook you want to shout out here?
All the guys back at HCM and the shop, Jones Barbecue, and Rocket Tires Reps.
And you said you were talking about wanting to get promoted, and so you're trying to make it into that Monday night series, the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout series. Is there something about that series that that's what you want to be a part of?
I guess just the bigger names you get to run against, like McCall, Cottle, and Suggs.
That you do remember, Sean, when you get to run against the bigger names, the beatings get bigger.
That tends to happen a lot in Sara on Wednesday nights anyway, so
Okay.
I'm pretty used to it.
I absolutely feel your pain. They are fast guys.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Sean, we can't wait to see more of you. Hopefully, see you on Monday nights next season. That would be awesome. And glad to finally talk to you. We're glad you came back to the asphalt stuff. I mean, the dirt's fun, but this is the stuff we love.
Appreciate it, boys.
Yeah, don't discount your talent, Sean. You're a fast guy, man. Keep digging.
Thank you.
Well, Bill, that's gonna do it for us this week here at Five Flags. We've now got 6 drivers in the playoffs for both series tonight. AJ Rogers not gonna make it on. Josh Kosick out early in tonight's race, not gonna move on to the next round. So it looks like we're gonna have Caleb Hall, Zach Oden, Chris Roma, Josh Parrish, and I believe that leaves Craig Tolley as well. So moving on to that next round, and that's a lot of fast guys that really didn't have great nights. I mean, Caleb Hall had a fantastic run up to 4th, but it started off rough for Caleb.
It did. It did. It was a long night of passing cars for Caleb. Multiple times he had to come from the back, then go to the back, then come from the back, and finished all the way. Ran all the way up to 4th. So, and that's after driving here and barely making it here at all. If we didn't have, well, I mean, we had an issue with one of the playoff drivers. It was not Caleb Hall that was having issues before. We had to. That's why we started late to come in with a new server. But boy, that I guess he can count as lucky stars. He's through, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and made it by the skin of his teeth, getting in there last minute, able to make a qualifying lap, made it in through the B main, and Caleb Hall gets to run it for a championship next week, or hopefully in 2 weeks if he makes it through. But again, 6 drivers moving on.
Yep.
2 more will be eliminated next week, and the Daniel Williamson Memorial 126, and that is we talked about last night. That is a very important race for many of us in this sim racing deal. That's one that everybody's going to want to win, and that just amps up the pressure even more for all of these drivers, especially these playoff guys that maybe came into this, didn't have the night they were expecting. They weren't competing for wins or competing for a win tonight, and I think they're going to have to go back and do a little homework and a little bit more testing for Martinsville.
Right, and a lot of guys that they do say they like Martinsville. Some guys say that they don't run it very often. It's not something that the Super Late Model Series hits. I don't think it's a track that hits very often. So they are going to have to figure it out. They're going to figure it out this week and try to get into that Final Four that's going to run at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, well, we can't wait to see it. Next week we'll be back in action live on Monday and Tuesday night. That is I believe the 25th. Let me see, the 26th and the 27th. September 26th and 27th, Monday and Tuesday night, we'll back in action. And then, of course, next week, Thursday night, we'll be back in action with the Sarah Super Series. So we have 3 races coming at you next week. It's going to be an action-packed week of racing. The Super Late Models here on In the Zone Racing, live on our Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Twitch. Thank you to everybody that hung out with us on Facebook all night long. We can't thank you guys enough. Everybody that sent us stars, Crystal
Absolutely.
Clark, and my dad, of course, Jeff By, sending us the stars. Thank you so much, you guys. We appreciate it, and we will see you next week.